Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make money from Steam. We're going to be doing this by trading and selling Rust skins. However, you can take the knowledge I'm about to teach you and apply it to other Steam markets as well. For example, I came from the CSGO economy long before Rust. In this video I'm going to be covering basic economics which is present in the market. I'm going to be telling you how to profit, as well as some advanced tips which are catered towards Rust specifically. Finally, I'm going to give you some advice for the future, and you can take this and make as much or as little profit as you want. Let me start off this video by telling you a little bit about myself. So I started investing in the CSGO market way back around 5 years ago. This was when I was heavily playing CSGO, and I was also studying economics at the time. I didn't have a lot of money, but I invested around $100 in cases and skins, and over a couple of years I managed to double that. I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned from the process. And now, after leaving high school, I'm studying economics in uni, and I have a greater understanding for the market in general. I then took that $200 and put it completely into the Rust market. After learning from my mistakes, I managed to make much more smarter decisions, and I managed to more than quadruple my $200, and my inventory sits at just around $800, but I've taken a lot out of it. Obviously, just under $1,000 isn't a whole lot of profit. However, because I was still learning, I didn't want to heavily invest in the beginning, and hence why my profits were much lower. But rather, I learned from my experience, and maybe in the future I'll invest heavily in stock, or I'll go back to the Steam community market. We'll see. And now I'm going to teach you how you can profit. The first thing you need to understand is basic economics. What drives the market, and what makes skins rise in price. The price of a skin is determined by demand and supply. Demand is the quantity that the players want of the skin. However, it's a variable quantity as it changes based on the price. A good example of this would be the AK Alien Red. If this skin was valued at 10 cents, then I'm sure that everyone would want one. However, if it's valued at $100, only a handful of players would demand it. Supply is the opposite. It's how many skins that Facepunch is willing to release at a given price. However, for Rust, the price is determined before the skins are released, and then the quantity released is actually determined by the demand. For example, if a skin isn't very nice, then no one will buy it, and then therefore none will be produced. The way Rust skins work is they release the skins for a week, and then after that week they produce no more. This means that most of the popular skins will be supplied in mass quantities, and the skins that don't look so nice can become rarer even though they're not very nice. Okay, so what can we take from this? Well, basically what I'm trying to say is that rare skins that no one buys when they first come out for a week can actually rise in price even if they don't look so nice, simply because they become rare. And on top of that, the really nice looking skins might not actually yield much profit, because as you can see with the Blackout kit, because they were bought in the hundreds and even up to 1,000 with the chest piece, so many people bought them that they're not very rare and no one really demands them. Well, when I say that no one demands them, it's actually that more people have bought the skin than people have demanded. And so why have so many people bought the skin? Well, people tried to make profit by buying multiple of the skin. Hence, there's so many skins on the market now, because people bought multiple and now they're trying to sell them all. However, because too many people tried to make profit, no one makes profit. Which leads me on to my next point, how to actually profit in the Rust market. You have to try and do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. If you follow trends and follow everyone else, then the profit gets spread between people. For example, if one person makes $1 from a skin, however, if 10 people try and copy him, everyone would have only made 10 cents profit. Do you see what I'm trying to say? You need to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So if you're getting frustrated that we're already 3.5 minutes into the video and I haven't told you how to make money on Rust, it's because I can't tell you exactly what to do, otherwise you wouldn't make profit. If everyone does the same thing, it doesn't work. So you need to pay close attention to this video, understand everything that I'm saying, and you need to be able to make your own smart decisions, because that's the only way that you are going to profit. So now I'm going to tell you some profiting techniques that you can try on individual skins. However, I can't tell you which skins to do them on, otherwise you wouldn't make any profit, because everyone watching this video would copy. The first thing you need to do is reap the benefits of real demand. Because Rust skins only come out for a week, if there's 100 people that wanted the skin and only 50 were bought, you will always see that the price of the skin rises. However, as the Rust community grows and more people are trying to invest in skins, you'll see that this is less and less of the case. So back a couple of years ago, I would pretty much buy any skin that I thought looked nice, because I always knew that it would rise in price, because people don't always buy it on the first week that it comes out, but they'll buy it later and later, and because no more are being supplied, they'll continue to rise in price. However, this doesn't always occur anymore, not because people buy exactly what they want, but because people are doing what I did and they bought too many. Let me show you with an example. When the Glory kit came out, I knew it would rise in price because it was the first Rust kit that came out that was completely white, and I know that people like simple colors. This is the profit margin for the Glory kit. All of them range differently, but this is roughly what it looked like. As you can see over time, it's definitely risen in price, and at no point in time did it drastically drop below its original price. Hence, I've received nothing but profit with this skin. However, if you were to compare this with the Blackout kit, you would expect that it would do something the same. However, if you look closely, you'll see that the Blackout kit actually drops in price in the first couple of weeks that it came out. And why is this? It's because people saw what happened to the Glory kit and they tried to do the exact same thing. Everyone tried to make profit the same as I did previously. And now you can see why if everyone does the same thing, it doesn't work out. Because too many people bought multiple of this skin, and then they tried selling it for profit, no one actually wanted the skins that people bought extra of, and now there was just a bunch of extra skins on the market that people were trying to dump. This is why the price went down. However, if you give it a couple of years, I'm sure it will rise in price as well, although it won't be as steadily of an incline as the Glory kit because there's too many on the market right now. So therefore, with the Glory kit, it was smart to buy lots of them when they first came out on the Steam market, and then you can sell them for profit. However, with the Blackout kit, because too many other people did this, it would actually in fact be smarter to wait a couple of weeks until after people start selling them for a discounted price. Therefore, you can make even more profit. However, it's really hard to predict this, although it can be done if you study the market correctly. So that's the most simple and easy way to make profit. Buy skins when they're low in price as they've just come out, and then wait a couple of years as they slowly rise in price because people stop selling them. However, there are other ways to make profit which can be quicker but a little bit more risky. Another way to make profit is by flipping items. If an item has very few quantity on the market, you can buy out all of the stock and then the price will rise. As you can see here on the left tab, if you were to buy all of the quantity that's already on the market, the price would slowly start to rise. As you can see here, someone could have potentially bought out all the Daemon Strikes for $3 and then start to sell their excess ones for $11. This means that they get quite a lot of profit in a very short amount of time. Although, as you can see afterwards, more people start to put their skins on the market and the price returns to roughly where it was before. This is extremely risky because if someone sees what you're doing and they have a Daemon Strike in their inventory, they might decide to make use of what you're doing and sell theirs instead at a lower price, which means you could have accidentally bought out all of the stock and then it just gets replenished. This is why you need to target skins which have a very low quantity because it's very rare that people will see what you're doing in time to reap your own benefits. Next, I'm going to tell you some advanced profiting techniques that you can only use in Rust. This is how I made most of my profit and hopefully you can do the same. In Rust, it's common that you'll see skins which actually glow if they are deployable. For example, sleeping bags, boxes and door skins, many of them out there actually glow, which give you a little bit of an advantage because at night in Rust, if you play, you know that it's pitch black, and it's very helpful to have those things in your base so that you can navigate around your base without needing a flashlight or a torch. Therefore, I always try and buy glowing skins if I like the look of the design, as I think they'll usually rise in price. This is the case for most glowing skins, as you can see here with the Night Sky box. However, remember what I said before, if everyone starts to do this, then you should stop because then the trend will do the opposite and too many people will buy the skin and it won't rise in price. Typically glowing gun skins are bad, however back in the day Rust used to make glowing iron sight skins such as the Alien Red. As you can see here, the profit margin is insane because the iron sight gives you a slight advantage when you have a moonlit night in Rust. So it's kind of dark, but the iron sight allows you to center your screen when you scope down the barrel of the gun. They stopped making these skins, that's why their profit margin is so high. I wouldn't recommend investing in them now as you're a little bit too late. However, there are some skins like the Daemon Strike LR which still can go up in price. Another way to make profit is by looking into the Steam community market for skins that only have a couple on the market. This is because over the long run, as people demand these skins, the supply is fixed and the price will have to rise as people run out of the skins. This is a very slow way of making profit, however it's generally quite safe. The next thing to consider is complete sets. When Rust skins are released, for example the Glory set, they don't always release the whole skin set in one go. For example with the Glory set, they released the Glory face mask, chest piece and other road sign components well before they released the adjacent white kit, which was actually called the No Mercy pants and hoodie. The kit came out in February, but if you look at the No Mercy hoodie and pants, they actually came out later in May. Therefore, I knew to buy the Mercy pants and hoodie because they would complement the kit, and when people had half of the kit, they would for sure want to buy the remaining parts. And because the hoodie and pants were quite expensive at $3.50, not many people bought them at the time, so I knew I would make a bit of profit, and as you can see, they went up quite high in price. Another thing to consider is not just the skin you're getting, but the item you're getting it for. For example, with AK skins, there's so many on the market that buying them, they never really rise in profit. And the same goes for really unique items. For example, this really nice glowing chair that I bought, it hasn't really moved in profit because no one really uses the chair. But if you look at my MP5 skin, or maybe even a SAR, you can see that they start to rise in profit because they're in the middle ground. Not too many are bought and not too few are bought. To summarize, the Rust market is extremely complex, as are any markets. So if you want to make profit, you have to be smart about your decisions, and maybe in the long run you can make a few dollars. However, do consider that the more you put in, the more risky it is. However, the more likely you are to profit. For example, if you doubled $1, you'd only get $2, but if you doubled $1,000, you'd make $1,000 profit. Common sense, however, it is something to consider, as a lot of kids out there don't have much money and they're still trying to make lots of profits. Just keep in mind that it's quite unrealistic, although it is a good learning experience if you ever want to work in the stock market later in life. If you're just starting out and want to make a little bit of profit, I'll leave you with some advice. The first thing is to be patient. A lot of profit comes in the long term, which can actually take up to a year or even more. Another thing is figure out how much money you want to invest in, because the more you start off with, the more likely you are to make profit. However, you need to be okay with losing up to all of that profit, because after all, if you make the wrong decisions, you could lose profit instead of gaining it. And the final thing is make sure to spread out your assets. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. It seems to be common sense. However, if you see a really nice skin, it can be tempting to buy quite a few of them. However, if you don't have the budget for it, start out small and only buy a couple. Final thing is to learn from your mistakes and develop long-term skills, as these are much more valuable than the couple of dollars you might make here in Rust. Thank you so much for watching the video, and thank you to all my subscribers as we recently hit 2,000. I will be doing a giveaway on my Discord channel to celebrate, so make sure you go join my Discord channel down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.